Imagine waking up exactly 6 months from today, looking in the mirror and barely recognizing yourself, not because of age, but because of how far you've come. The life you're living now could feel like a distant memory, replaced by a version of you that is sharper, stronger, and more in control than you ever thought possible. 6 months may sound short, but it's long enough to completely rewrite your story, if you have the right plan and the courage to follow it. Clarity of vision is the very foundation of any transformation, because without knowing exactly where you want to go, you will find yourself drifting in directions that other people or circumstances push you toward. Most people think they have a vision, but in reality they only have vague wishes. They say they want to be successful, but they can't describe what success looks like for them in detail. They say they want to be financially free. They cannot define the exact number that would give them that freedom or the steps that would take them there. They say they want a better life, but better has no shape, boundaries, no definition. A vague dream produces vague actions, and vague actions produce vague results. If you want to transform your life in 6 months, the first thing you must do is make your vision so clear that it becomes impossible to misunderstand it. Clarity means specifics. It means you can picture your life 6 months from now as vividly as if it were happening today. You should be able to describe the details: where you live, kind of work you are doing, how much money you are earning, what your body feels like, what your relationships look like, and what your daily routine is. The mind works best when it has a destination that is as tangible as a location on a map. Imagine you are setting out on a journey to a city you've never visited. Without the address, you cannot buy the right ticket, you cannot choose the right vehicle, and you cannot tell if you're moving in the right direction. Your goals are no different. Without an address, your energy and effort will be scattered. The reason most people fail to achieve transformation is because they are chasing shadows instead of clear images. If you say, "I want to get fit," it's too blurry. But if you say, "I want to weigh 70 kilos, run 5 kilometers without stopping, feel energized every morning," your brain immediately starts searching for ways to make that happen. It's like switching on a GPS. The clearer the coordinates, the shorter the route. If you want to build a business, don't just say, "I want to earn more money." Decide exactly how much you want to earn, product or service you will provide, and who your customers will be. This sharp focus eliminates confusion and forces you to act with purpose. Clarity also demands honesty. You must admit to yourself what you truly want, not what others expect of you. Too many people build lives that impress others but leave themselves empty. You want to transform your life, you have to be willing to strip away every borrowed dream and ask yourself, "If no one could judge me, would I choose for my life?" This is not easy because it requires courage. Clarity often exposes that you have been living according to someone else's definition of success. Once you define your own, you stop wasting time trying to please everyone and start directing all your resources toward building something that matters to you. You have this vision. Write it down. Put it somewhere you will see every day. Repeat it to yourself every morning and every night. The mind needs constant reminders of where it's going, otherwise it gets distracted by the noise of daily life. The clearer your vision, the easier it becomes to make decisions. Every opportunity, every request, every temptation can be measured against your 6-month goal. Does this take me closer to where I want to be? Does it pull me away? With clarity, you begin to live deliberately instead of accidentally. You stop saying yes to everything, and you start building your days around the actions that serve your vision. Clarity does not guarantee that the journey will be easy. It ensures that every step you take is in the right direction. Ruthless time management is the discipline that turns dreams into results. Because no matter how ambitious your vision is, you only have 24 hours each day to work toward it. Time is the one resource you cannot get back once it is spent, yet it is the one most people waste the most. The truth is, you are not in control of your life until you are in control of your time. Every day is like a bank account that receives a deposit of hours, and whether you use them wisely or squander them determines the quality of your future. If your goal is to transform your life in 6 months, you must treat time as a limited, high-value asset and guard it from anything that does not serve your purpose. The first step is to identify where your hours are going right now. Most people are shocked when they honestly track their days. They discover hours lost to meaningless scrolling on social media, endless conversations that lead nowhere, or tasks that could easily be avoided or delegated. These small leaks may seem harmless, but they drain the energy you need for progress. Transformation does not require you to work every waking second. It does require you to cut away the activities that add nothing to your goals. You have to become ruthless about saying no to anything that is not essential. It might make you unpopular in the short term, but you are not here to please everyone. You are here to win the next 6 months. Time management also means prioritizing the tasks that have the highest impact on your results. Not all actions are equal. There are tasks that make a small difference and tasks that change everything. If you focus on low-value activities, your progress will crawl and you will lose motivation. The key is to identify the top 20% of actions that produce 80% of your results and give them your best energy. Work on them when your mind is sharpest, whether that's early morning or late at night, and guard those hours as if they were gold. Anything less is a slow surrender of your own potential. Another crucial part of ruthless time management is creating a structure for your days and weeks. When you know exactly what needs to be done, and when you remove the need for constant decision-making, which wastes mental energy, a clear schedule forces you to focus. It is not about filling every minute with work, about making sure the most important things are completed before distractions can creep in. If you don't plan your day, someone else will. Through their requests, emergencies, and demands, and you will end up helping them achieve their goals instead of your own. Discipline is the bridge between time and results. You can have the perfect schedule. If you let procrastination and excuses take over, you lose the race before it begins. This is why you must train yourself to start tasks without waiting for motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Discipline is a decision, and decisions are under your control. Treat every important task as non-negotiable. If you plan to work for 2 hours on your business idea, it does not matter if you feel tired or uninspired. You do it anyway. Over time, this habit compounds into extraordinary progress. Finally, ruthless time management requires regular reflection. At the end of each week, review how you spent your hours. They invested in actions that moved you closer to your goal, or were they consumed by distractions disguised as productivity? Every wasted day is a piece of your dream that you traded away. When you start seeing time as the currency of your future, you begin to spend it more wisely. The people who transform their lives in a short period are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the ones who refuse to waste a single hour on things that don't matter. Learn like your life depends on it is not just a catchy phrase. It is the mindset that separates those who rise quickly from those who stay stuck. In a 6-month transformation plan, the speed at which you learn and adapt will determine how far you go. The world is constantly changing. Industries shift, opportunities appear and disappear. Skills that were valuable yesterday can become useless tomorrow. If you commit to learning deliberately and consistently every day, you turn yourself into a fast, moving, adaptable force that can handle challenges and spot opportunities before others even see them. Learning is not something you do only in school or only when you feel like it. It becomes a daily discipline, like eating or breathing. The reason learning is so powerful is because knowledge expands your ability to make better decisions. When you don't know enough, you are forced to rely on luck or the opinions of others, which often leads you in the wrong direction. But when you understand your field, your craft, or your chosen goal in depth, start to see patterns and connections that others miss. In 6 months, the amount of progress you can make just by learning 1 hour a day is enormous. That's 180 hours, time enough to become competent in a new skill, launch a small business, or gain expertise in an area that puts you ahead of most of your competition. The type of learning that matters most is targeted learning. This means studying only the knowledge and skills that directly support your goal. Your 6-month plan is to become financially independent through an online business. Your learning should focus on areas like marketing, sales, customer psychology, product development, not random subjects that have nothing to do with your mission. Many people make the mistake of collecting information for the sake of feeling busy. Business without relevance is a trap. The mind works best when it knows the exact problem it's trying to solve. This is why your learning must be purposeful. Learning also becomes more powerful when you apply what you learn immediately. Knowledge that is never used fades quickly, but when you take action on it, it becomes part of your skill set. If you read a book about communication, use the techniques that same day in conversations or presentations. If you watch a tutorial on a new tool, practice with it as soon as possible. This immediate application turns learning from passive information into active transformation. 6 months of applied learning can take you further than years of passive consumption. Another part of learning, like your life depends on it, is embracing failure as part of the process. Many people avoid trying new things because they fear looking foolish or making mistakes. But mistakes are the raw material of mastery. Every skill you admire in someone else was built on a foundation of trial, error, and adjustment. When you are willing to fail quickly and learn from each failure, you compress years of progress into months. The faster you make mistakes and extract lessons, the faster you improve. Your learning should not come from one source alone. Read books, take online courses, seek mentors, join communities of people working towards similar goals, and pay attention to real-world experiences. Different perspectives deepen your understanding and give you more tools to work with. If you can surround yourself with people who are ahead of you, they will push you to think bigger and act faster. Even short conversations with experienced individuals can save you months of trial and error. The truth is, in a 6-month transformation, your ability to learn quickly is your greatest weapon. You may not start with all the resources or connections you want. You can always control how much you know and how fast you grow. When you approach each day with the mindset that your future depends on what you learn today, you turn ordinary days into stepping stones toward extraordinary results. Over time, this habit of relentless learning becomes part of who you are, ensuring that even after your 6-month goal is achieved, your growth never stops. Taking small but consistent action is the engine that drives your 6-month transformation plan forward. Many people imagine success as the result of one huge breakthrough or a sudden stroke of luck, but in reality, most life-changing results come from a series of small, deliberate steps taken over time. A single action might feel insignificant in the moment, but when repeated daily, it compounds into massive change. Just as a drop of water seems powerless yet can carve a canyon over years, small, consistent actions reshape your life in ways that big, irregular bursts of effort never can. The problem for many is that they wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, or the perfect level of motivation before starting. They believe they need to feel ready before they act, but readiness is a myth. Action itself creates the feeling of readiness. By taking one step, no matter how small, you create momentum, and momentum makes the next step easier. Waiting for ideal conditions only wastes precious time, and in a 6-month transformation plan, time is the most valuable resource you have. Small actions are powerful because they are achievable even on difficult days. If your goal is to get fit, you don't need to run 10 kilometers on the first day. You start with a short workout, a healthy meal, or a walk. These small wins build confidence and strengthen the habit of showing up. If your aim is to start a business, You don't have to create a full product in a week. Begin by researching your market, drafting ideas, or building a simple prototype. Each small step is a brick in the foundation of your goal, and the more bricks you lay, the stronger and closer your vision becomes. Consistency matters more than intensity because habits are formed through repetition. You can do something massive once. If you can't repeat it, it will not lead to long-term change. Success comes from turning actions into non-negotiable parts of your daily routine. This requires discipline. The reward is that your actions eventually become automatic, demanding less willpower over time. When something is part of your identity and daily rhythm, longer feels like a burden, it becomes who you are. Of the traps people fall into is overestimating what they can do in a day and underestimating what they can do in 6 months. They push themselves too hard in the beginning, out, and quit. The smarter approach is to pace yourself, ensuring that you can sustain your efforts for the long haul. Consistent actions are sustainable because they fit into your life without overwhelming you. They give you the ability to keep going even when motivation dips, because the steps are manageable enough to complete regardless of your mood or circumstances. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you prove to yourself that your word has value. This self-trust is critical in transformation because big goals require confidence in your ability to execute. If you have a history of starting and quitting, your mind hesitates to believe in new plans. But when you consistently take action, even on a small scale, you rebuild that belief. You stop seeing yourself as someone who trees and start seeing yourself as someone who does. The compound effect of small actions is often invisible at first. You may not see results for weeks or even months, and this is where most people give up. But what they don't realize is that every action is a seed planted, and growth happens underground before it becomes visible. The person who keeps showing up without immediate rewards is the one who eventually experiences the sudden breakthrough that others mistake for luck. In truth, that overnight success was simply the visible tipping point of hundreds of invisible actions stacked together. In a 6-month plan, small but consistent actions are your insurance policy against failure. They keep you moving forward when life throws obstacles in your path. They guarantee that progress is made every single day, no matter how slow. This steady forward motion is what turns distant dreams into tangible reality. Building the right circle is one of the most underestimated, yet powerful factors in transforming your life within 6 months. The people you spend your time with act as invisible architects of your mindset, your habits, and even your beliefs about what is possible. Human beings are deeply influenced by their environment, and no matter how strong you think your willpower is, the values, attitudes, and behaviors of those around you will inevitably shape your own. If you want to create a dramatic shift in your life, you must be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. The right circle is made up of people who challenge you to grow, who believe in higher standards, and who are walking their own path of progress. These individuals don't have to share your exact goals, but they must share the same hunger for improvement. You are surrounded by such people. Their energy fuels your own. Their wins inspire you instead of making you feel small, and their mindset pushes you to think bigger, act faster, and aim higher. The opposite is also true. Spending time with people who are stuck, negative, comfortable with mediocrity will slowly drain your ambition and make your own goals feel unrealistic. Creating this kind of circle often requires making difficult decisions. You may have to distance yourself from certain friendships or even family members who constantly pull you away from your vision. This doesn't mean you stop caring about them. You cannot allow their doubts, fears, or lack of ambition to dictate your future. Transformation in 6 months is an intense journey, and you can't afford to carry the weight of other people's limitations. You must protect your mental space as fiercely as you protect your time. The right people will not only inspire you, but also hold you accountable. They will tell you the truth when you're making excuses, and they will push you to keep going when you feel like quitting. Accountability is powerful because it removes the option of hiding behind self-justifications. You commit to a goal and share it with people who expect results from you. The pressure to follow through becomes much stronger. This type of environment makes discipline easier because you know you're not walking the path alone. Another benefit of the right circle is access to new opportunities, ideas, and resources. The people you surround yourself with can open doors you didn't even know existed. They can share strategies, connect you with valuable contacts, guide you around mistakes they've already made. In 6 months, this network effect can accelerate your growth far beyond what you could achieve in isolation. This exchange only works if you also bring value to the table. Relationships thrive on mutual benefit, so you must be willing to share your own skills, insights, and support in return. It's also important to understand that the right circle is not always made up of people you meet in person. In the modern world, you can build your environment through books, podcasts, online communities, and mentors you follow from a distance. Even if you don't have high-achieving people physically around you, you can still fill your mind daily with the voices and ideas of those who think bigger than you do. This mental environment will influence your actions just as strongly as physical proximity. The wrong circle will make your dreams feel foolish and your efforts unnecessary. They will normalize procrastination, excuse poor habits, and reinforce a life of comfort over growth. The right circle will make your dreams feel urgent and your excuses unacceptable. Normalize discipline, celebrate effort, and make progress feel like the natural way of living. In 6 months, the difference between these two environments is the difference between transformation and stagnation. When you choose to build the right circle, you are choosing to raise, review, adjust, repeat as the habit that ensures your 6-month transformation plan stays alive and effective. Plan is only as good as your willingness to adapt it when reality proves it wrong. No matter how carefully you map out your path in the beginning, will present you with surprises, challenges, and opportunities you could not have predicted. If you stick rigidly to a plan that is no longer serving you, you waste time and energy pushing in the wrong direction. Success requires constant self-awareness, and that comes from regularly reviewing your actions and results to see what is working and what is not. Reviewing is about stepping back from your daily grind to look at the bigger picture. In the rush to get things done, it is easy to mistake activity for progress. You may feel busy. Business can hide the fact that you are stuck or moving sideways. By setting aside time, weekly, monthly, to honestly measure your progress against your 6-month goals, you make sure you are not blindly running in circles. This review is not just about tracking numbers or ticking boxes, it is about asking deeper questions. Are my actions bringing me closer to my goal? Am I solving the right problems, just keeping myself occupied? Adjustment is where the real power lies. Once you identify what is not working, you must have the courage to change it, even if you have invested time or pride into it. Many people cling to ineffective strategies because they do not want to admit they were wrong, but holding on to a failing approach only delays your success. Adjusting can mean changing your tactics, shifting your priorities, learning a new skill, or even redefining parts of your goal based on new insights. This is not failure, it is refinement. Every great achievement is the result of constant course correction. Repeating the cycle of review and adjustment creates momentum because it prevents stagnation. Each time you go through this process, your plan becomes sharper, your actions more focused, and your results more predictable. Over 6 months, even small adjustments can create dramatic differences in outcomes. Imagine a ship at sea. Degree change in direction may seem minor in the moment, but over time, it can lead to a completely different destination. In the same way, your consistent tweaks will guide you closer to your target with far less wasted effort. Another benefit of this cycle is that it keeps your motivation alive. You see what is working, you gain confidence. When you fix what is broken, you remove the frustration that comes from repeated failure. This feedback loop ensures that you are always learning from your experience, instead of letting it pass by unnoticed. Without review, lessons get lost. Without adjustment, mistakes get repeated. Without repetition, progress fades. It is important to approach this process with honesty and humility. The review stage is useless if you lie to yourself about your progress or sugarcoat the truth to protect your ego. The adjustment stage fails if you refuse to let go of what is clearly ineffective. Repetition becomes meaningless if you treat it as a formality instead of a serious commitment to improvement. Successful 6-month transformation demands that you be your own toughest critic and your own most supportive coach at the same time. When you make review, adjust, repeat a part of your routine, you turn your 6-month plan into a living strategy that evolves with you. You stop treating your plan as a rigid set of instructions and start treating it as a dynamic tool for growth. This flexibility makes you resilient in the face of setbacks and sharp in the face of opportunity. Over time, this habit becomes so ingrained that even after your 6-month goal is achieved, you will continue using it to grow, adapt, and reach new levels of success in every area of your life. 6 months from now, you will arrive somewhere, whether it's a place you chose with intention or a place you drifted into by default. The difference between those two outcomes is the decisions you start making today. If you commit to a clear vision, protect your time, learn relentlessly, take small but consistent action, surround yourself with the right people, and review and adjust your course, transformation is inevitable. The next half-year is not just a block of time. It is a chance to build the life you've always imagined. The only question is whether you will step forward with purpose or let the days pass unused. Your future is waiting, but it will not wait forever.